What it do, guys? Manjoume here, and today we're entering Volume 2 of the Versus System 2-player card game with the Infinity War arc. You'll see some similarities, but a lot of differences from the Infinity War saga in the MCU. First up, we're going to be checking out Volume 2, Issue 1, Cosmic Avengers. On the front of the box, we see a space background that is actually present throughout the arc, then a blue strip, which once again is present on each one of them, with their corresponding name, this one being Cosmic Avengers. Speaking of, we see Captain Marvel, Hawkeye, and Black Panther on the front. Notably, Captain Marvel has a quasi-realistic art style that kind of doesn't fit with the other two, and very much clashes with Black Order. You see very drawn, cartoony style artwork and kind of an in-between here with Galactic Guardians. Looking at the side, we see a continuation of the artwork. And another cool thing is that, turning on the side, we see story arc Infinity War, which I think is always great to have. On the top, we see that same background and the blue strip, so we know which arc it is a part of. On the back, we have 55 cards in a rule sheet. Kicking off an all-new volume of Versus System 2-player card game expansions, this first issue in the Infinity War story arc features the Earth's mightiest heroes geared up to battle a devastating comic threat. Stack your deck with powerful heroes like Black Panther, Captain Marvel, and Hawkeye, only the entire universe is at stake. So, let's see what's inside. Set that aside. And I will say, this specific one is super warped. You can't really tell from the top, but maybe from the bottom, it's a little easier to tell. Maybe one card. You can see kind of how it's warped. Yeah, there it is. Yeah. But when we use them, they'll be sleeved, so not a big deal. First up for the Avengers team, we have Black Panther. 5 health, 3/4 stat line, bulletproof. Characters with range cannot strike Black Panther even in melee combat. He has leap, meaning he has flight on his turn. Passing down the knowledge, level up 6 times when one or more equipment, plot twists, or supporting characters are put into your KO pile from anywhere. Black Panther gains an XP. So even when you power him up, you're having to discard a supporting character version of himself to your discard pile, so that would also count. His level 2 now has a 6/8 stat line, which is a little better than average as of this time, and gains Commune with the Ancestors. Build yellow, put an equipment, plot twist, or supporting character from your KO pile into your hand. So that allows you to use it again, meaning you could have used that Black Panther supporting character to power him up once again, an equipment to put onto him, or a plot twist to get you out of a little bit of a mess you may have gotten yourself into. Next up, we have Captain Marvel. 6 health, flight range, 33 stat line, aka Miss Marvel, alien physiology. Captain Marvel can't have -1/1 counters. Military background, main green. Captain Marvel strikes an enemy supporting character. 5 senses, level up 5 times when a character on your side strikes on your turn. Captain Marvel gains an XP. So that includes herself, but it also includes supporting characters. Her level 2 now has a 5/5 stat line, has security background instead of military background. Reaction red, when an enemy supporting character appears, Captain Marvel strikes it. Meaning if something comes out and it's not very defensive, she'll hit it, and if it has 1 health, right there, it's gone. 6th sense. Level up 6 times when a character on your side strikes on an enemy turn, Captain Marvel gains 6 XP. So this is usually when they're being attacked, and they get their turn to strike. Her level 3 now has 7 health, a 7/7 stat line, and gains the 7th sense. When Captain Marvel enters combat, she may strike an enemy supporting character not in the combat. Next up, we have Hawkeye. 5 health, range, 5/2 stat line, custom quiver. You start the game with a quiver. Circus shots. Level up 5 times when a character on your side makes a range attack. Hawkeye gains an XP, meaning him, but also if you have other characters that can do so, also racks up those points. His level 2 now has a 7-5 stat line. I am the weapon. Once during each of your turns, but not during combat, you may put a random card from your quiver into your hand. Quick draw. While Hawkeye is ranged attacking, enemy characters can't strike back at him. Nomad. He has no team affiliation. 2 costs 1 health, 4/4 stat line, aka Captain America. Man without a country. Nomad can't have team affiliations. Reclaim the mantle. You pay 2 less to recruit Captain America supporting characters. So that is Steve Rogers. This was a time when he got disillusioned, I think, from America or like that military stuff, and he was this, a man with no country. They sort of kind of did this with him in like at the end of Civil War into Infinity War. That's kind of nomad-esque, and there are rumors that the version of Steve Rogers Captain America or Steve Rogers character in future Marvel movies will be another version of Nomad. We likely will not be seeing a version of this anytime soon. Black Knight. 3 cost 2 health, flight, 2/4 stat line, combat master. While Black Knight is in combat, enemy players cannot play plot twists. Wielder of the Ebony Blade. Build blue, search your deck for an Ebony Blade equipment and equip it to Black Knight. Odinson, no team affiliation once again. 4 cost 1 health, 6/5 stat line, aka Thor, unworthy. Odinson can't be equipped and can't have +1/1 counters. Reclaim the mantle. You pay 4 less to recruit Thor supporting characters. So basically, recruiting him, think of him as like an investment or down payment on the one that it's not currently, I guess, because Nomad costs 2, but reduces the cost of a Captain America by 2. Same thing with Odinson here. He only costs 4, and he reduces a Thor by that same number. Although he is kind of strong, so you may not even need to swap him out. You can also think of it as like an evolution of the character. Like you play him early on because he's only a 4, and then you use him to recruit like a cost 6. Or actually, I don't know what they would cost, but if a Thor costs 7 or 6, he would basically evolve into that one. Next, we have Thor. 5 cost, 2 health, flight in a 3/7 stat line, aka Jane Foster, a god who knows how precious life is. When Thor appears, she may pay a yellow if she does heal a wound from a character on your side with exactly 1 remaining health. There must always be a Thor. When Thor is KO'd, you may search your deck for a Thor supporting character, reveal it, put it into your hand, which I think does count as Odinson because he would count as a Thor with his AKA there. Next up, we have Captain Marvel, 6 cost, 2 health, flight range, 5/5 stat line, alien physiology, and cosmic awareness. Once during each of your turns, but not during combat, you may ask an enemy player a yes or no question about their hand. They must answer truthfully. So you might have to have like a third party double check to make sure they're playing it right. Next up, we have a character that we may not see again, although I don't remember anything that happened in that movie, Cersei. 6 cost, 1 health, range at 12/3 stat line, Eternal. If Cersei would leave play, you may put her into her owner's hand instead. Sprite's Trick. At the start of each main phase, if another Eternal is on your side, Cersei loses and can't gain Eternal. Next up, we have Hyperion. 7 cost, 1 health, flight range, 10/10 stat line, Eternal, and reliance on solar energy. When Hyperion enters combat, an enemy main character on that side may pay a blue. If they do, Hyperion loses and can't gain Eternal. So losing Eternal is a built-in characteristic for a lot of these cards, and that really hurts them. So for your opponent's benefit, they would want to remove that from them because if they had enough to bring this thing out, it gets returned to their hand and then you just play it again the next turn. Next up, we have Gilgamesh. 8 cost, 1 health, flight, 16/16 stat line, Eternal, and the Forgotten One. At the end of your turn, if you didn't say Gilgamesh, this turn he loses and can't gain Eternal. I mean, this one's really on you if you don't if you don't say his name, I guess. Next up, we have the plot twists, including defensive arrowheads. Custom arrows, this card starts the game in your quiver. During either player's turn combat, if Hawkeye is face up on your side, choose one of the following arrowheads, then choose an enemy attacker. Shock. It gets -3 attack this combat. Fireworks, it gets -3 defense this combat. Two prong, put a -1/1 counter on it and each other attacker. Neutralizer. Remove all +1/1 counters from it. Portal. Remove it from the combat. Offensive arrowheads. Offensive arrowheads. Custom arrows. Combat. If Hawkeye is face up on your side, choose one of the following arrows. Then choose an enemy defender. Magic. Put a 1/1 counter on each character attacking it. Grenade. Put a -1/1 counter on it and each other character in its row. Parachute. It gets -5 attack this combat. Diamond tipped. It gets -2 defense this combat. Boomerang. It gets -1 defense this combat. Put this card back into your quiver. So you get to put it back because it comes back. Powdered arrowheads. Custom arrows. Main. If Hawkeye is face up on your side, choose one of the following arrows, then choose a character on your side. Adamantium. It has Sniper this turn. Smoke Bomb, it has Stealth this turn. Barbed Wire, it has Lethal this turn. Incendiary, it has Violent this turn. Pim Particle, it has Shrink until the start of your next turn. That's a really cool one because that one we actually did see in the Hawkeye TV show, which was largely based on the artwork for Utility Arrowheads, Custom Arrows. Main, if Hawkeye is face up on your side, choose one of the following arrows, then choose an enemy character. Boxing Glove, push it to its back row. Suction Cup, pull it to its front row. Net, daze it. Freezing, freeze it. Magnetic, move an equipment on it to an unequipped character. Global Information Network. Build. Your main character may pay a yellow. If it does, look at the top 5 cards of your deck. Put one in your hand and the rest on the bottom. Ebony Blade, 1 cost equipment. Mystic Link, the Ebony Blade can only be equipped to a character named Black Knight or Black Panther, which I didn't know Black Panther had the affiliation. Merlin's Magic. When the equipped character strikes, you may turn an enemy basic location face down. If you do, you may turn a face down basic location on your side with the same type face up. So kind of an equivalent exchange there, but really, really in your favor. The final card in this set is Wakanda, Special Location, Vibranium Technology. During your build phase, your main character may pay a yellow. If it does, turn this location face down, then search your deck for an equipment, reveal it, and put it in your hand. So you can very much search for the Ebony Blade, which, if you're playing with Black Panther or Black Knight, you can equip with a really low cost. Issues and arcs. This 3-issue arc features the battle over the Infinity Gauntlet. This issue highlights several cosmic Avengers, while the next issue focuses on the Guardians of the Galaxy, and the final issue covers Thanos' quest for the Infinity Gems. Black Panther. For Black Panther's passing down the knowledge, whenever more than 1 card is put into your KO pile, at the same time he still only gains 1 XP. Hawkeye. Hawkeye's custom quiver means he starts the game with his 4 different custom arrows, plot twists set to the side. Once he's level 2, you may use I Am the Weapon to draw a random custom arrows card each turn. Once a custom arrow card is in your hand, it acts just like a regular plot twist. Note that to be able to play them, Hawkeye must be face up on your side, but for the combat plot twist, he doesn't have to be in the combat himself. He can shoot really far. Please note that if you use Magnetic on the utility arrowheads, he can move enemy equipment to an unequipped character on your side. Some of Hawkeye's custom arrows have keywords and terms that aren't explained in full on them. Sniper. A character with this power can ranged attack back row characters even while they're protected. Stealth. A character with this power can melee attack back row characters even while they're protected. Lethal. If a character with this power wounds a defending supporting character, KO the defender. Violent. While a character with this power is attacking a supporting character, it strikes the defender with double its attack. Shrink. When a character on your side with this power is attacked for the first time each turn, you may cancel the combat. Freeze. Characters affected by freeze can't ready during their next turn. Thor. Jane Foster becomes Thor when the original Thor shirks his responsibilities. She has asterisks around her name, meaning she shares the mantle with Thor himself. This means both characters can be on the same side because they're different beings, just with the same name. So you don't KO either of them due to uniqueness rules, and you can't power each other up. When Thor is ready to start being Thor again, Jane gracefully demurs. To represent this, there will always be a Thor. Power can only be searched for a Thor, not a asterisk Thor, or with AKA like Odinson. It can't get a copy of herself. Jane's a god who knows how precious life is not a superpower. Captain Marvel, his cosmic awareness allows him to ask an opponent one concrete question about their hand. The answer has to be truthful. In a casual setting, use the honor system or bystanders to help out. In a more formal setting, you can ask a judge. Good examples of questions to ask are: do you have any plot twists in your hands? Are there any Fing Fang Fooms in your hand? Do you have a 7-cost card in your hand? Eternals. There are 3 supporting characters with this new keyword this issue. Eternal characters are very tough to get rid of, and Eternals even have trump effects that would remove them from the game. But each Eternal has a built-in way to lose Eternal. Note that if one of these characters does lose Eternal, it loses it until it leaves play, not just for the turn. But once it's removed from play, that card will have Eternal if it enters play again. Hyperion's reliance on solar energy is not a superpower. Note that the enemy main character must be face up in order to pay the required blue. It doesn't have to be in the combat. For Gilgamesh's The Forgotten One, if there is a game effect preventing you from speaking, he will lose Eternal at the end of the turn. Global Information Network and Wakanda. In this arc, we are playing around with how players can use locations besides superpowers, in addition to cards like Thor and Hyperion, who have keyword powers which require spending yellow and blue. Each issue will have a plot twist and special location that allow their main characters to have some pretty powerful effects on the game. A few things about these plot twists and special locations: they are not superpowers. Your main characters must be face up to pay for them. Your main character can use a wild special location from their team to pay for them. These cards are neutral, so like any other neutral cards, they can be in loyalty decks. Special locations don't count as locations with a specific power symbol. For powers like Black Widow's main character level up like Red in her ledger, or Zutak's Paint to Life. Then we have some card artworks, the checklist, and credits. Then on the other side was just more cards. No like cool artwork on this one. Well guys, that's it for Versus System 2-player card game Infinity War Story Arc Volume 2 Issue 1 Cosmic Avengers. Who did you prefer more? Captain Marvel's sheer power, Hawkeye's quiver, or the surprise of Black Panther getting both a location and the inclusion of him in the Ebony Blade? Let me know in the comments below. If you want to stay up to date on my videos and live streams on both YouTube and Twitch, check out links in the description below. Like, comment, subscribe, and consider joining. That's all for now, guys. Manjoume out.